Well, after 45 or maybe 46 days of intense action, it boils down to the final day of this 2023 Ashes contest between England and Australia. Very, very interesting situation at this point. 249 runs away, Australia. More importantly, just 10 wickets, all 10 wickets intact. Potentially, we may say today for certain is the final professional cricketing day for Stuart Broad.
Yeah.
But there is also another element that you cannot discount when you are in England, and that is the rain. Yesterday it pelted down, and that's why you saw no play for at least close to maybe 1.5 sessions.
And then finally the match, the day was called off.
The day was called off. And today, for all you people wondering what is the weather forecast today, it is much, much better. Much better the weather is, but there will be patches of rain. Although many people say the delay won't be more than half an hour to 1 hour.
But you know what the British weather is like. It can often just, let's say surprise
You. I mean, yesterday we thought the worst of the weather was behind us, but no, it actually belted down, and that's why you saw that Australia, for the first time since 2015, can you believe it, they had an opening stand worth 100 in England against in the Ashes contest. So it all culminates to one particular aspect. England can make it 2-2. It can be a repeat of 2019 or 2003. More likely 2003, because they had lost the first two tests, then they won the last two to ensure against South Africa it was a 2-2 draw. For Australia though, they will be hoping that they can erase 22 years of pain. Remember, if this test is a draw, or if Australia do the unthinkable and chase down 384, then they will win a series in England for the first time since 2001. Remember, Ricky Ponting in his captaincy tenure never won the Ashes in England. Michael Clarke in his captaincy tenure never won the captaincy.
Even Steve Smith had draws.
Yeah, Steve Smith, I think he never captained England, Australia in the Ashes contest in England.
2019? No, he wasn't the captain.
He wasn't the captain, remember. It was Tim Payne.
Right, it was Tim Payne.
So, Pat Cummins has got the opportunity to join Steve Waugh, Alan Border as the other greats in this modern era who have won the Ashes in England. And anyway, see, winning in England is a very, very tough situation nowadays. I mean, the England batting, the England bowling. The bowling looked a bit flat, but there are concerns over one particular individual, Mark Wood. Wood bowled just 3 overs. And you could see when he was going up the stairs, he was limping.
He was limping, and he was even being applauded by the fans, which is a pretty telling sign that, even they were pretty aware that he might not actually have much of a part to play in this test match.
But England are saying it's all tactical. However, is that to control the panic? Maybe. But then if Wood is injured, then there is a massive, you may say, burden that is there on Stuart Broad and James Anderson.
And Vokes.
Remember, Vokes has looked the most penetrative of the lot, along with Broad being the most threatening. Anderson is a major concern.
Has looked very flat. Like we keep talking about, and I think there'll be two major question marks over, let's say, the England future. Come what may, whatever the result of this test match, there's two things they're going to have to go back to. One, do you want to stick to the nature of flat hard pitches? Because whilst it has aided your batting, it has nullified your bowling. That's number one. Number two, what about James Anderson? Once again, we are reaching that crossroads point. You thought they had already taken a call on him in 2021, but come the new regime, come the Bazball era with Baz McCullum at the helm and Ben Stokes at the helm in terms of captaincy, they recalled both him and Broad. Broad now is retired, so no going back there. But Anderson, again, this test series, even mitigating or notwithstanding the fact that conditions probably haven't been as much as his liking, he just hasn't looked that good, because even someone like Vokes would need similar conditions to thrive. Someone like Ollie Robinson would need similar conditions to thrive, but all of them have looked better than Anderson, and that's a major worry. Even Josh Tongue. Remember, Josh Tongue in the one match he played was getting some banana in swing.
Yep. And remember, England's strength, if you have to look at it in the past decade, prior to Bazball, has been swing bowling.
Always. It's been their swing and seam bowling.
Yeah. Green conditions and absolutely overcast, and you would ensure that there was movement in the air. And credit to James Anderson, when the McCullum era started, the Bazball era started, he did look good. I mean, how could he have gotten those wickets in those roads in Pakistan?
Exactly. And don't forget, he was very, very effective even against New Zealand. In that first, the genesis of Bazball series. He was very effective there as well, so it wasn't really a problem. So obviously, it's more than just condition specific at this point.
It is. I think I don't think it is conditions. bound also because I will say one more thing. When was the last time Jimmy Anderson criticized an English pitch? I mean, he criticized the Edgbaston pitch as it was his kryptonite. And remember, yes, the dark underbelly of baseball is that, yes, you may produce great batters. The scoring rate will increase. Your hit-the-deck bowlers like Mark Wood, like Jofra Archer, Dave, and even Chris Wokes to a certain extent. Wokes is both. He can swing it in the air and also
And he
hit
can
the
also,
deck.
and in fact, I think in that regard, even England have probably missed Stokes' bowling a lot. He too is someone who can be a hit the deck in the right conditions, bend his back, get that extra bounce.
And
but
also
obviously,
reverse swing.
Yes, reverse swing. That's another thing where I think they've been found wanting. No one has quite been able to do that. But
One of our family members did ask, and sports fans like Stokes needs to bowl. He can find some reverse.
you know, actually,
but will he bowl?
I think today, if there's any day when you need to take that risk, it would be today. Because what is England's calendar looking like for Test cricket? They're not playing Tests in a while.
They aren't playing tests until December. There's nothing in the winter for them. So that is why I will say that it is probably a big risk. But then supposing, okay, Stokes is adamant.
Yeah.
But if there's an outside chance, say England are the defending champions heading into the 2023 World Cup, will England want to call Ben Stokes out of
That's what I was thinking of. I said because as things stand, he's not in the scheme of things for ODIs. They're not going to be playing Test till December. If you have to really run that risk, now is the only time. Or if not the whole day, maybe in the second session if you're not able to get anything, or if God forbid you actually end up getting a couple of wickets and you don't need a key breakthrough. Stokes has always been that guy. Or we always talk about his clutch batting performances, but even with the ball, he's someone who can take on a lot of load. Maybe 2 spells, 3 spells, whether they need something, because again now with Wood not there, that's the
potentially,
big with potentially Wood not there, that's England's X factor gone.
And one more problem that happened during the test match, Moeen Ali's injury.
Exactly, that's another problem because and even his bowling has looked flat.
Yeah,
It's looked
but
flat.
imagine divine providence how it can be. Australia's Ashes contests almost got derailed when Nathan Lyon
Yes,
got
correct,
injured.
correct.
Now, if Moeen Ali is not there and with Wood also not there, predominantly 3 pacers and a full timer, part timer in Joe Root.
Joe Root yesterday had to shoulder a lot of load as well. He was bowling a lot.
I think he will be shouldering most of the load. And remember, Wokes, Anderson, Broad, these 3. And remember, if the weather remains, 98 overs will be bowled today.
Yeah.
And remember, if Australia are 5 or 6 down and there are 15 overs left, 1 hour, they will take it because they will want to ensure the series is 2-2 all. And because of that, they will want to ensure Australia do not leave with a 2-1 win or a 3-1 win. Remember,
Exactly.
we may think that England can do it because Australia have a tendency to collapse. Maybe in one session they can lose about 5 or 6. That happens to them in England. Just ask Stuart Broad. He made his major impact in 2009. Australia were cruising at 100 for something. But then Broad came in a spell of 5 for 22. Just destroyed the Aussies and ensured the urn came back to England in 2009. He needs something similar today. And remember, how many overs he bowls, we don't know, but then it will be the last time we see Stuart Broad in professional. I had prepared, Shane, prior to this. I would say the same thing about James Anderson.
Yeah.
But it is actually Stuart Broad. And there was a list that some people released. How many players have come after Anderson and retired before Anderson? Ian Bell. Then there was Paul Collingwood, Andrew Strauss, Alistair Cook. All have played close to 80 or 90 plus tests. And there are Stuart Broad, the 5 prominent names that I can tell you. Matt Pryor also. Jonathan Trott.
Won't Graham Swan be in that list?
Graham Swan. Yes, Graham Swan. Imagine all these. Kevin Peterson.
Actually, yes, KP too. Yeah.
KP2. All major England stars have all gone. A generation has gone. But
And
Jimmy
James Anderson is still there.
Still there. So that is the thing. So that's why, imagine this longevity, which can be in a way a negative way also, because if he doesn't bowl well in this Ashes,
It's easy to discard him.
and the problem is they're not playing in December, they're playing in January. They're coming to India. Will Anderson be there? That's the major problem. So I really wonder. Yeah, even the coach.
Actually, even Baz, yes.
Baz was 2004 till 2016. Anderson 2003.
You per my points on James Treadwell.
Treadwell. But Treadwell didn't have that much of an
He
impact.
didn't have that
in
much of
Test.
an impact, yes.
ODIs he was good. So at the end of the day, one of our family members said, Roshan, last day of the Ashes, feeling sad, you miss quality cricket for next 2 years. So your feelings about Ashes end.
I mean, see, I understand this thing, like the kind of competition you get in the Ashes is unparalleled, but I think you'll get some good test series.
There's a reason why the hashtag rivals forever
Works.
It works because there is a lot of history. Although, let me be honest about the Ashes contests in England are far more appealing than the Ashes contests
in Australia. It's
Australia.
always kind of one-sided.
Exactly. And I don't know, surprising, I think in this basketball era when 2025-26 comes, I think England will flourish in Australia.
Yes, if they can find maybe another couple of pacers. See, they have Wood. Keep Wood fit, wrap him in cotton wool. He'd be lethal in Australian conditions.
He was
But
lethal in 21.
Yes, and they need someone else also who can kind of parallel that. They did have Archer. I don't see Archer playing tests ever again, though.
Josh Tongue.
Maybe Tongue could be.
Maybe Tongue. And Broad anyways retired. So yeah, there is a new line of England pacers who are stepping up now, who might step up. But remember, this is the end of an era. I mean, Stuart Broad, you always thought the Broad Anderson do 1,000 wickets.
You thought they'd be buying out more or less the same time, but you'd always thought it would be Anderson who went first.
It's not like McGrath won, who retired at the
Exactly.
same time.
Yeah.
So that's why it is a really big problem. So final day of the Ashes.
As Dex points out.
Dex has pointed out 98 overs and basically 249, 10 wickets. Both teams, I would say it is 50-50.
But I think I'd say 51-49 to Australia because again, 249 with 10 wickets in hand, that's essentially chasing 250. Leave aside the runs you've scored, you have 10 wickets in hand.
Yes.
If you lose it from here, it'll be an epic collapse.
Epic collapse.
Of course, there's also the very real possibility that you could have unexpected rain and it might just wash out the day. But I think Australia start a slight favourite.
They are slight favourites. And Jay Krishnan also went. Who will be the major... Okay, what is coming first? A Broad wicket of David Warner or David Warner scoring his first test century, that too in his final test probably in England. What is more probable? I think Broad getting rid of Warner
Yeah, very
is-
possible because that's just a mental block that, it really plays on your mind. Plus, it would be well scripted,
well
written.
scripted, yeah. Exactly. So
So-
that is the way. So that is the way it is, but yeah, fine, I'll take that later. So, Broad, everybody's echoing Broad. Steve Smith is the key player for Aussies to win this test. What do you guys
See, I think now with the amount of runs they have, no one batter needs to be doing too much because they've already
Yeah.
gotten a very good start. I think you just need key contributions from maybe 3-4 players. When I say key, I mean like you can get quick fire 40-50s as well, and you're good.
You are at least batting all the way until Cummins. Cummins showed plenty of application in the first innings
And
also.
okay, put it this way: if you need 40 runs and you reach all the way to Stark, you would back Stark to get those 40 runs.
You might.
He
you
can,
might.
if he gets in the mood, he can whack a few.
Yeah, but remember, pressure can do strange things. And that's why England, if they get a toe hold, just like the Aussies, sometimes they can really barge in.
Exactly, and especially with Australia, who have a history or a tendency of kind of, collapsing. They have that.
So, Sports Fan is giving a prediction. Australia will win by 5 to 6 wickets and win the Ashes 3-1. Wow.
very interesting.
Remember, the last time anybody chased a 380 plus score was India in Chennai. That epic Tendulkar 4th innings 100. So, that's why looks tough. I would say 51% agreed. Australia hold the advantage was clearly due to the start that they had. So, yeah, I think I echo Sports Fans' comment. England are not defending 384. Australia winning it with 4 or 5 wickets in hand. Yes, Steve Smith is the key, but remember the guy who has to be the anchor is Usman Khwaja. No one's talking about Usman Khwaja.
He's
So
done a fantastic job throughout the Ashes, really.
yep, and that's why I think Australia could Marnus, of course,
But Marnus, the problem is he's very much like home comforts are a real thing with
but
him.
at least his 100 ensured that Australia didn't collapse in Old Trafford.
That's true.
And yes, Dex, I think I would agree that Mitchell Marsh's 100 the best innings. I think yes.
Absolutely.
But I think nothing beats Zach Crawley's 189.
Oh, that was next level. That was some insane hitting. That was some insane hitting.
But no, not Zach Crawley. I think the number one knock, whatever you look at it, Ben Stokes 155.
That was crazy. It would have been crazier. People don't talk about it now because they lost.
Yeah.
But if they had won that, then that would be rivaling or probably maybe even eclipsing
His
Headingley.
Headingley, yeah. Then I would have said Ben Stokes can even walk on water. He can make water into wine as well. That is the thing.
Exactly.
So I think my top knock, irrespective of what the series goes, is Ben Stokes
Anyway,
150.
we'll have saved those discussions for
Yeah.
another time. Right now, the test match will be about to start soon
Yes,
enough.
yes.
So we'll join you, of course, later in the day once the test match is done. Stay tuned to Sports Today. Like, share, subscribe, tap that bell icon, and of course, follow us on social media as well. Download the Sports Tech app too. For now, though, we'll take your leave.
Bye bye.